I might as well put you on your rostrum, stand and face Jerusalem. The blessing of the Sabbath. Barakatha Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Asherah. Bethalanawa. Pashabath. Pashalawam. Thawada. Aman. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the Sabbath and peace. Thank you, so be it. Zakar. You read. Faha'ayim A'ad Asherayim Akkad, Psalms 121. Anya Harayim Ayanyam Ya O Haharayim Ma'ayan Yabawa'a Isaiah Yabawa'a Ma'Yahawah Sha'isha Shamayim Wa'arataza La'a Yanothan Lamawat Regalia Yala'a Yanawam Shashamarka Hana La'a Yanawam Wala'a Yayashun Shashua Ma Yasharala Yahweh Shamaya Yahweh Tazalia I'll Yad Yum Yin Ya Yawamum Hashamash La'a Hakaya Wayarak La'a Balayala Yahweh Yashamaria Mako Ra Yashamar Napasha Yahweh Yashamar Hawalakia Wabawa'aya Ma'aitha Wa'ai Aiwalam Bahasham Yahawasham So Wada Aman.
Psalm 121. I will lift up my eyes into the hill from which comes I will lift my eyes into the hill from which comes my help. My help comes from the Lord, who made the heavens and the earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keep thee will not slumber nor sleep. He that keep thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keep Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon the right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thee from all. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Shema Yasharella, hear, O Israel. Shema Yasharella, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Chad. Shema Yasharella, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Chad. Shema Yasharella, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Chad.
Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Amen.
Amen. Tapala Yahweh, the Lord's Prayer. Abba Yanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwethka, Saba'ah, Batazawanka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Ka, Bashamayim, Bethalanawa, Lakam, Yawum, Za, Wasalaklanawa, Kabawafnawa, Kabakasalaknawa, Kabawathyanawa, Wala'a, Habiyanawa, O Nasayawan, Abo, Hawashinawa, Mara, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha'ala, Wahata Pa'arath, La'aywalam, Aman.
Matthew 6:9. After this manner, therefore, pray thee, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thou is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. Ha'ashab Amatazawaf, the 10 Commandments. La'ah, Yahaya, Laka, Alahayim, Akarim, Alpanyah, La'ah, Daisha, Laka, Paso, Wala'ah, Taibadam, La'ah, Talakwaka, Shamwa, Yahweh, Alahayaka, Lashua, Zakar, Ath, Hayawum, Hashabath, Lakwadashwa, Kabad, Abiaka, Wa'amaka, La'ah, Taratazak, La'ah, Dana'ah, La'ah, Dagana, La'ah, Da'ina, Shakur, La'ah, Dakamai, Ko, Asherah, Larayaka, Aman.
Exodus 1, verse 2. And the Lord thy God, which hath brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other God before me. Thou shalt make unto thee any graven images, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children of unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and to show mercy to thousands of them that love me and keep my commandment. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him in guiltiness that takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God, and it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy man service, nor thy maid service, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For the 6th day the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rest the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not convert thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not convert thy neighbor's wife, nor his man servant, nor his maid servant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Amen.
Amen. Yeshua, be seated. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asheran, Etalanawa, Par Yahagabin, Thawada Amun, La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Ath Yasha Allah. I might upon you on your Ross and stand and face Jerusalem. Barakatha Yahweh, Hagadol, Rakawam, Abiyah, Wanaba'ah, Ile 1. Malak, Sho, Shemayim, Wa'aratazah, Wakol, Debayim, Kayayam, Wagum, Hamashiach, Mayahawa, Adawan Nawa, Ahab Nawa, Apalah, Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Zakar Nawa, Yahweh, Barataza 1, Ainka, Yasha Allah. Izar Nawa, Bana, Wasap, Yasha Allah, Ol, Nanawa, Yum Yun, Aitha, Kayawamim, Makwadam. Baba Kusha, Shalat, Maya Ka'ala, Wahatazawadak, Alahayim, La, Maganawa, Rapanawa, Washamar, Alnawa. Ba'aikur, Shalak, Haroka, Shon, Yahweh Shai, Lanawa, Lalamadnawa, Rabiam, Kakama, Sabawada, Wada'aith, Shol, Dabarka. Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Sawada, Thum Yad, Wa'iwalam, Amun. English translation. Blessed are Yahweh, the great, merciful, mighty, terrible, most high power, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. And also the anointed from Yahweh, our Lord, our friend, the wonderful counselor, Yahweh Shai. Remember us, Yahweh, favorably your people Israel. Help us build and gather Israel. Most high, we beg you, right now like the days of old. Please send Michael and the righteous powers to protect us, heal us, and watch over us. Mainly send the spirit of Yahweh Shai to us to teach us much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of thy word. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always and forever, so be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the law. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Nathalanawa, Hathawara. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us light to see. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, War, Lara Awath. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the ram's horn to call the people. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Korun, Ha'ayah, La Korah, Ha'aim. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Hashaman, Zayath, Lamashak, Yasha'Allah. Shabbat. Be seated. Yeah, you can open up the blinds, but close that door so they don't creep the water.
Nate. He recorded.
All right, Shalom, Yasha'Allah. Peace and blessings to the brothers and sisters all throughout Israel in the four corners. The Akim here, the brothers here in the school, those listening on teleconference line, those watching on the live stream. Happy Sabbath or Shah Shabbat in the Hebrew. Today is June 22nd. This is the Sabbath day of the Most High, beginning Friday sundown and concluding on Saturday sundown. Thus saith the Most High's word when you read the scriptures. This is Hayashar al-Kanas, which is the congregation of Israel, the gathering of Israel. Israel being the 12 lost tribes of the Most High's chosen nation, his elect, right? Those whose ancestors were the indigenous Native American Indians, Seminole Indians who were here prior to the conquistadors and the Spaniards and the Portuguese and all of them coming over to the Americas, as well as the Hispanics, right, throughout North, Central, and South America. On their father's side, when you read Numbers, the first chapter and the 18th verse, it lets you know that we determine our lineage based on the father's side of the family. Not to discredit the mothers, but that's the way the Most High determines lineage based on the seed of the man. And also those whose ancestors were part of the diaspora of those who came from the western shores of Africa to America or the Americas during the early 1600s, as well as to other areas of the world throughout Europe, throughout the Caribbean, and North, Central, and South America. So those ancestors or those persons whose ancestors fit that bill are the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. When you read the scriptures, it gives you the geographic location of these tribes in the last days. It gives you their characteristics, it gives you their history, and as well as gives you their prophecy, right? So the Most High has been able to give us signs and clues throughout our time, our generation, to understanding our conditions and where we're going to go, as well as he also gives us information pertaining to all nations. So all nations history is also found in the scriptures as far as for their origin, as far as for certain timely events, kingdoms, empires, rulerships, captivities, downfalls. All of that is also described and mentioned in the Bible as it relates to the children of Israel, right? So speaking about the Bible, read the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, as well as the hidden books known as the Apocrypha. You can get this book also in the King James 1611 version Bible, or you can get it separate online or at a bookstore, but it's also comprised or makes up 14 books that makes a complete 1611 that you'll find the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments that pertains to dietary laws, ceremonial laws, like holidays that people keep today. There are holy days found in the Bible that the Most High wants us to keep, as well as moral and civil laws, how we live amongst each other, as well as how we live amongst the world. Different things that pertains to agriculture, through cleanliness. Everything is found in the scriptures about what makes a man and what makes a woman in the sight of the Most High as it pertains to his chosen people. So again, today is the Sabbath day. It's customary. We're going to read. We usually read Old Testament, New Testament, and hidden books in the Apocrypha. Today we're in the Old Testament. We're going to be reading in the book of Numbers, the 31st and 32nd chapter, but we'll start with 31 first. As customary, we'll read the Hebrew, ancient Hebrew first, known as the Holy Tongue or the Lashawan Quadash in English, and then we'll read the English with edification. All right. So I'm going to start off in Numbers, the 31st chapter. And read. Oh, we got a lot of verses today. And read all the way through. Starts off with Wayadabar Yahweh. Right. All right. So Numbers 31 and 1. Wayadabar Yahweh al Mashal Amar. Verse 2. Naquim Naquamath Bunyam Yasha'ala Ma'ath Hamada Yunyam Akar Sap O Anyaka. Verse 3. Wayadabar Mashal al Ha'aim La'amar Hakol Tazawa Ma'athkam Anashim Latazaba Wayahayawa Io Mada Yum Lathath Naquamath Yahweh Bama the Yun Midian of Midian Bama the Yun. Verse 4. Alap Lama Ta Alap Lama Ta. What is that? Lamatha. What do you have? You got ancient. Yeah. So Lamat Ha Alap Lamat Ha Lakam Mata Wath Yasha'ala Dashalakwa Latazaba. Verse 5. Wayama Sarwa Ma'a Lap Ya Yasha'ala Alap Lamata or Lamatha Shunyam Aishara Alap Ka Law Tazaya Tazaba. Verse 6. Wayashalak Atham Masha Alap Lamatha Latazaba Atham Wa'ath Paya Nakas Bun Ala Izar Hakahan Latazaba Wakolya Hakwadash Waka Tazazarwath Hatha Raw I should be, what do you have? Hatha Ra Aiha Bayadwa. Verse 7. Wayatazabawa Io Mada Yun Kaashara Tazawaha. Is that what that is? Or Tazawa? Tazawaha Yahweh Ath Mashah Waya Haragwa Ko Zakar. Verse 8. So so right there at the end of 7 it says males, and it has Zakar. So it's the same as man child or men child, right? Verse 8.
And to
remember also Zakar. But I gotta look at the distinction in it, because normally you don't have the same Hebrew words sounding meaning two different things. So there has to be some distinction. I gotta check it out. Yeah, I gotta look at it. Verse 8.
One question. Did we do the same thing to kids back then that they did?
What? Same thing?
Like kill the little kids.
What are you talking about in the story?
In this Bible.
Did we do the same thing back then?
Yeah. Did we kill those little kids?
Yeah.
Little baby.
Yeah.
A pregnant woman.
Yeah. That's what we're going to read. Verse 8. Wa'ath Malakya Mada Yun Haragwa Io Kaloyahum Ath Oya Wa'ath Raquam Wa'ath Tazawar Wa'ath Kawar Wa'ath Rabbi Kama Shath Malakya Mada Yun Wa'ath Bala Ain Bun Ba'ai War Haragwa Baka Rab. Verse 9. Waya Shabwa Bunyam Yasha'ala Ath Shunya Mada Yun Wa'ath Tapma Wa'ath Ko Haba Mathma Wa'ath Ko Makwa Nama Wa'ath Ko Kayoma Bazazwa. Verse 10. Wa'ath Ko Ayarma Bama Washabtam Wa'ath Ko Taya Rathma Sharapwa Ba'ash. Verse 11. Wayakwakwa Athko Hashalo Wa'athko Hama Lakwak Ba'adam Waba Bama. Verse 12. Wayaba Awa O Masha Wa O Ala Izar Hakahan Wa O Idath Bunyam Yasha Allah Ath Hashabya Wa Ath Hama Lakwak Wa'ath Hashalo Al Hama Kana O Irabath Mawa'ab Ashara Ayo Yara Dun Yarakwa. Verse 13. Wayataza Wa Masha Wa'ala Izar Hakahan Wako Nasha Yaya Ha'aida Lakwaram Thumb O Maka Wataza Lamakana. Verse 14. Wayakwa Tazap Masha Ayo Pakwa Wadya Hakayo Sharia Ha'alapyam Washaria Hama Awath Haba Ayan Matazaba Hama Lakma. Verse 15. Waya Amar Alyaham Masha Haka Yayathum Ko Nakwaba. Verse 16. Hun Hana Hayawa Labunyam Yasha'ala Ladabar Bala'aim Lama Sar Ma'ayo Bayahawa Ayo the Bar Pa'ai War Wathahaya Hamagapar Ba'aidath Yahweh. Verse 17. Waitha Haragwa Ko Zakar. This is 17. Every male. Kun. Zakar Batap Wako Ashar Yada Aith Ayash Lama Shakab Zakar Haragwa. Verse 18. Wako Hatap Banashim, which is, what is this? Verse 18. So that's the women children. Banashim Asherah La'am Yadaiwa Mashakab Zakar, the man. Hakayawa Lakam. Verse 19. Thumb Kanwa Maka Wataza Lama Kana Shaba'ith Yawumyam Ko Harag Napash Wako Nagai Baka Lo Thatha Katawa Bayawum Hashala Yashya Bawa Salak Waba Ya Wum Hashaba Yaya Athum Wabshabyakam. Verse 20. Wako Bagad Wako Kolya Wa Iwar Wako Ma'ai Shah Izium Wako Kolya Aitaza Tathakatawa. Verse 21. Waya Amar Ali Izar Hakahan O Anashya Hatazaba Haba Yum Wama Koma Zakath Kakwak Salak Kakwath Hathawa Ra Ashra Tazawa Yahawa Ath Masha, verse 22. Ak Ath Hazahab wa Ath Haka Sap Ath Hanaka Shath Ath Habara Zol Ath Habadyo wa Ath Ha'ai Parath, verse 23. Kol Dabar Ashra Yaba'a Ba'ash Tha'aiba Yarwa Ba'ash Watahar Ak Bamaya Nadar Yatha Qatar Wako Ashra La'a Yaba'a Ba'ash Tha'aiba Yarwa Bama Yum. 24. Wakabatham Bagadyakam Bayawum Ashaba Yaya Wata Hartham Wa Akar Saba Awa O Hamakana, verse 25. Waya Amar Hawa Al Mashah La Amar, verse 26. Shah Ath Ra'ash Malakwak Hashabya Ba'adam Waba Bayam, so like Wabama Athar Wa'ala Azar Hakahan Wara Asha Aba Wath Ha'aida, verse 27. Waka Tazayath Ath Hama Lakwak Bayan Thapasha Hama Lakma Haya Tazayim La Tazaba Salak La Tazaba Wabayan Ko Ha'aida. What verse was that? 28. Waharamath.
Yes.
Kantawada. Waharamath Makas Layahawa Ma'ath Anashim Salak Anasha Hama Lakma Haya Tazayam La Tazaba Akad Napash Makamash Hama Wath Mun Ha'adam Wamun Haba Kwar Wamun Haka Maryam Wamun Hataza'an, verse 29. Makam Tazayathma Thakwakma Salak Thakwakwa Wana Thatha La Ala Azar Salak La Ala Izar. I'm saying like we said it in English. La Ala Izar Hakahan Tharawamath Yahweh, verse 30. Wama Mak Tazath Bunyam Yasha'ala Thakwak Akad Akaz Mun Haka Mashim Mun Ha'adam Mun Haba Kor Mun Haka Maryam Wamun Hataza An Mako Habayim Salak Habama Wanathatha Atham La Loyam Shamariam Salak Shamaria Masha Mashama Rath Masha. Say again. You have Martha.
No,
Mashama.
Like Shamar.
Which verse is this?
Shamar, yeah, the same one.
Which verse is this? Is 30?
So yeah, 30. Like the guardian and then another watch is like Shamar, right?
Keep the charge.
The Levite guardian.
So this is Laloyim. Loyim is the Levites.
Loyal.
Then it's Shamaria.
Ma, Shamartha. Like watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shamaria, Ma, Shamartha.
My
Oh, yeah,
Shamar.
watch guard, right?
Yeah. All right. So Masha Martha, Masha Kun, Yahweh. Verse 31. Wa Ya'aish Mashar wa ala Izar Hakahan Ka'ashara Tazawar Yahweh Ath Mashar. 32. Wa Yahaya Hama Lakwak. So like Hama Lakwak. Yathar Habaz Asherah Bazazwa Ain Hatazaba Tazaan Shasha Ma'awath Alap Washabayim Alap Wakama Shath Alapyan. Verse 33. Wabakwar Shunyim Washabayim Alap. Verse 34. Waka Mariam Akad Washashayam Alap. Verse 30. That was 33. This is 35. Wana Pash Adam Mun Hanashim Ashara La'a Yadaiwa Mashakar. So like Mashakab Zakar Ko Napash Shunyim Washalashim Allah. Verse 36. Watha Hayam Hamak Tazar Kalak Haya Tazayim Batazaba Masa Par Hatazaan Shalash Ma'awath Alap Washalashim Alap Washa Ba'aith Alapim Waka Mash Ma'awath. Verse 37. Wa Yahaya Hamakas La Yahawa Man Hatazaan Shasha Ma'awath Kamash Wama Salak Washabayim. Verse 38. Waha Bakor Shashar Washa Lashim Alap Wamaka Sam Layahawa Shanyim Washabayim. Verse 39. Waka Mariam Shalashim Alap Waka Mash Wath Wama Kasam Layahawa Akad Washashayam. Verse 40. Wanapash Adam Shashar Aishara Alap La Yahweh Man Shunyam Washa Lashin Napash. Verse 41. Wayathun Masha Ath Makas Thara Wamath Yahweh La Ala Izar Hakahan Ka'ashara Tazawa Yahweh Ath Masha. 42. Wama Mak Tazayath Banyam Yasha'ala Ashara Katazar Masha Man Nashim Hataza Bayam. Verse 43. Watahaya Makatazath Ha'aida Man Ha'ataza An Shalash Ma'awath Alap Washalashim Alap Shaba'aith Alapyan Wakamash Ma'awath. Verse 44. Wabakor Shashar Washalashim Alap. Verse 45. Waka Mariam Shalashim Alap Wakamash Ma'awath. Verse 46. Wanapash Adam Shashar Aishara Alap. 47. Wayakwak Masha Mama Katazath Bunyam Yasha Allah Ath Ha'akaz Akad Man Hakamashim Man Ha'adam Waman Haba Salak Habama Wayathun Athum Laloyim Shamaria Masha Martha Masha Kun Yahweh Ka'ashara Tazawa Yahweh Ath Masha. 48. Wayakwa Rabwa O Masha Hapa Quadim Ashara Lapya Hatazaba Sharia Lapyam Washaria Hama Awath. Verse 49. Waya Amarwa Ath Salak. Waya Amarwa O Masha Ibadjaka Na Shawa Ath Ra'ash Anasha Hama Lakma Ashra Bayadyanawa Wala'a Napaquad Mama Salak Mamanwa Ayash. Verse 50. Wana Quarab Ath Quaraban Yahweh Ayash Ashra Matazak Kolya Zahab Itaza Iba Salak Ataza Ida Watazama Yad Tabaith Iga Yol Waka Wamaz Lakapar Io Napa Shaf Yanawa Lapanya Yahweh. Verse 51. Wayakwak Masha Wa'ala Aizar Hakahan Ath Hazahab Ma'a Thum Kol Kolya Ma'aisha. Verse 52. Wayahaya Kol Zahab Yaha Salakatha Rama Ashra Hara Yamwa Layahawa Shasha Aishara Alap Shabai Ma'awath Waka Mashim Shakwol Ma'ath Sharia Lapyam Wama'ath Sharia Ma'a Salak Wath. 53. Anasha Hatazaba Bazazwa Ayash Lawa. 54. Wayakwak Masha Wa Alayaiza Hakahan Ath Hazahab Ma'ath Sharia Lapyam Waha Mawath Wayaba'awa Athwa O Aho Mawa'id Zakarwan Labunyam Yasha'ala Lapanya Yahawa. All right. So that was the English. Ready, Nathan? Knocked out. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready, Nathan?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm talking to Nathan. You ready? You got your Bible, Nathan? We're in Numbers 31. So Numbers 31st chapter in the first verse in the English, it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses saying, right? So for those, and I didn't preface this in the beginning with the prayers, for those who are watching this on the live stream or listen for the first time, when you read in the Lord, right? The Lord's name in Hebrew is Yahweh. Most folks know it to be Jehovah when you read in the English version of the Bible. But prior to the 1600s, right? And the reason why I capstoned it to be the 1600s because the letter J in the pronunciation of Jehovah was not invented or did not come into existence prior to that. So the original pronunciation of the Most High's name is Yahweh. Certain good dictionaries will give you or trace you back to the Phoenician way of saying the Most High's name based on the tetragrammaton. And you'll see that it's pronounced in that fashion, right? You'll have the YHWH, and that's Yahweh when you just go through the pronunciation. Same thing for Christ, it's Yahweh Shah, right? So when we doing the prayers and you hear the Lord's name and you hear Christ's name and you're expecting to hear Jesus or Jehovah, that's just the Hebrew way of saying the Most High's name, which is his original name, right? So sometimes when people greet you, they'll say, "What's your name?" You'll say Pedro, right? Pedro is another way of saying Peter, but you refer to them as Pedro because that's how they said their name to you. You don't have to change it if you choose not to, and they don't understand it. So it's the same context when you hear us reading the English. Sometimes you'll see the word Lord and hear like, well, what is he talking about? Because he must have a different Bible. No, it's just the original name for the Most High. All right. So I'll read 31:1 again. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterward shalt thou be gathered unto thy people. Right. So if we remember going way back to the time of Balaam, right, when he was on the ass and the Most High met him in the way, it was the Moabites and the Midianites who are now originally conspiring to curse Israel, right, to come against Israel to be their downfall, right? So the Most High had already made, you know, when you read in Numbers, the 25th chapter, you know, a declaration to go out and deal with the Moabites. Now he's saying that we need to go avenge ourselves of the Midianites, because the Midianites also caused us, or try to cause us, to sin during that time period, right? So now in sinning, they were doing was making us not worship the Most High, but go and worship false gods. So we know when we worship anything other than the Most High's judgment falls upon us, right? Because he's our God. So the Lord would sometimes punish us through plague, punish us through captivity, punish us through death, right? Because of us falling into temptation of the other nations. Mm-hmm. So because now we in our right mind, the Lord says, now we need to go be avenged of the Midianites, and then you'll be gathered together into your place. It says, verse 3, and Moses spake unto the people, saying, arm some of yourselves unto the war, and let them go against the Midianites and avenge the Lord of Midian, right? So not everybody's going to have to go to war, some of you, right? That's why when you look at any people, any nation, right, wherever you go, they'll have some form of an army, because you need to have an army or defense, right, against people who now want to come in and invade, right? Who want to take over your land, or who want to come and take over your people. So you always have to have some form of an army. So in the law, the Most High had a certain age group between who can go and become a soldier in the army of Israel. So here he says that they need to go and arm themselves to prepare for war against the Midianites. Read 3 again. And Moses spake unto the people, saying, arm some of yourselves unto the war, and let them go against the Midianites and avenge the Lord of Midian. So now the Most High was upset with them, and he said, listen, I want to use you to go and be my battle axe, like he says in the other books, right? He wants us to go and avenge him because of what they did to us to remove us from the Most High. It says, of every tribe, 1,000 throughout all the tribes of Israel shall you send to war. So it's if it's of every tribe, how many thousands of soldiers going? 12,000, right? The Most High had 12,000 men divided up of every tribe to go out to fight the Midianites. He said, so they were delivered out of the thousands of Israel, 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed men for war. So I remember when we was reading in the Maccabees, and you read a case where it says that they didn't take themselves so armed swords or any weapons to go fight. It didn't mean that they didn't have weapons. Israel fought with swords and weapons. It's just that meant that we did not rely on them like that was going to be our defense. Like sometimes you have certain soldiers in today's times, they have all the technology and weapons, and they feel because of the weapons, that is what's now allowing them to conquer different people or soldiers or armies. But we know that without the Most High, those weapons mean nothing. Right?
So what do we use?
We use weapons. We use swords and staves and all kind of different things. But it wasn't the fact that the weapons won the battle. The Most High is what won our battles. Okay. We use those as instruments to help win the battle, but it's the Most High that allowed us to prevail or not prevail. Because there was times we had the same weapons and we didn't win because it's of the Most High's doing. Yahweh Kanan.
Zechariah 4:6. And he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts.
Right.
So is the Most High spirit, because the Most High allow us to win certain battles. by the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
And also another one I want to read. Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. So the Most High is a man of war. So when you have a war, you have an army. You have angels.
Right.
You have men, armed men. It's like we're gonna do right here.
It was Zechariah
4 and 6.
Also write down Judges to go with this thing. Judges chapter 3, verses 1 and 2. Judges 1 and 2. I'm sorry, Judges 3, 1 and 2.
3.
Right. It says, now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan. So this is a generation that never knew any war. So the Lord left nations amongst them to prove Israel, to see if they will follow the Most High, not follow their ways. But then also, they got to learn how to fight. They got to learn how to build up an army. Verse 2, only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war, at the least such as before knew nothing thereof. So we had to learn how to fight. The only way you're going to be able to know if you can fight is if you have an opponent, if you have an adversary, right? So these nations were left to being the adversaries against Israel by the Most High to teach us how to fight and to teach us war. All right, so that was Judges 3, 1 and 2. So now we're back at verse 6. The water. It says, and Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 of every tribe, them and Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest, to the war with the holy instruments and the trumpets to blow in his hand. Right. So now you got 12,000 going out to war, right? One from every tribe. Then you see they didn't go by themselves. They got Phinehas and Eleazar that's also going out to war. They're going with the what? The trumpets. Where do you read that that these priests had to go out to the war with the trumpets?
When they walked around the building?
That's Jericho. No, we're not talking about that. Where in the law do we read the Most High has priests going out to the war with trumpets?
Is that part of the holy instruments you're talking about?
Right. That's what it's.
Okay. Ow. I got it.
Nobody remembers when we when the Most High sent the priests to blow the trumpets? I'll give you a hint. It's in this book.
The moon?
It's a holy day.
Oh, memorial.
Huh?
Memorial blowing of the trumpets.
Memorial blowing the trumpets. And when do you read about the memorial blowing of the trumpets or something that deals with the trumpets being blown in the book of Numbers? What chapter?
Leviticus 20.
No, we're in the book of Numbers. I said it's in this book.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on, wait. You say memorial blowing the trumpets. Not Nehemiah. You say Numbers. Oh, yeah, we got a car now, Jack. Thank you, Jesus. Answer.
Numbers, the 10th chapter.
Numbers, the 10th chapter.
Not the 10th one. Numbers, the 10th chapter, in the 9th verse. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
I forgot the
Say that again.
Midianites were. I forgot.
So Numbers 10 and 9. It says, and if you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresseth you, then ye shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and ye shall be remembered before the Lord your power, and ye shall be saved from your enemies. Right? So that was in the law when the Most High gave the instructions to Aaron and the priests as it pertained to the silver trumpets that they created. And the purpose for these trumpets or ram's horns or the shofar that we used for different purposes. We did it for the holy days. We did it for the new moons. We did it for just orchestrating how the camp is supposed to move. We used the ram's horn, right? So even in the last day, it says that Michael the archangel was going to come and blow the trumpet, right? In that last world, that last war that is to come. Right? So we keep all of that in mind as it pertains to the purpose of the trumpet. But now reading here in Numbers, we see that Eleazar and his son Phinehas.
Numbers 10.
Not Eleazar, but Phinehas went. I misspoke. Not both of them, but to curse Israel. Now we're seeing here where he meets his fate, where the Most High sends them out to go and smite the Midianites, and he kills Balaam here at this war, right? It says they slew all the males, right? It says in verse 9, and the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives and their little ones, and took the spoil of all their cattle and all their flocks and all their goods, right? So they went out and slew all the men that was in Midian, but all the women and the children they kept, and they went and took all of their possessions, right? All the spoils, all the cattle, right? They kept for themselves as a prize for winning this war, right? It says verse 10, and they burnt all their cities wherein they dwelt and all their goodly castles with fire. So after they took for themselves what they felt was prized possessions, then they destroyed the city, burned it to the ground. Even though what was their great cities now were no more. After Israel had destroyed them, killed off the men, took the women and children for captives, took all their spoils, got rid of their cities. Verse 11, and they took all the spoil and all the prey, both of men and of beasts, right? So everything that they probably had as prized possession, gold, silver, this, that, and the third, and their cattle that man had that was in Midian, they took for themselves. And they brought the captives and the prey and the spoil unto Moses and Eleazar the priest and unto the congregation of the children of Israel unto the camp at the plains of Moab, which are by Jordan near Jericho, right? So now they finished destroying where they were in Midian, and now they're marching back into the plains of Moab to meet the rest of the camp. And they come with all the flocks, and they come in with all these Midianite women and children, and they come in with the spoils of war, right? Gold, silver, tin, everything else we're going to read about a little bit later. Now they're coming and bringing that, and they're saying, hey, this is what we got back from the war, right? It says, and Moses and Eleazar, the priest, and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them without the camp, right? So now before they got to the camp itself, most of them said, no, they're not going to come here. We're going to go meet them before they get here, right? Because now instructions had to be given prior to them now coming into the camp. So they're now about to set some type of order with the soldiers coming from the Most High, right? It says, verse 14, and Moses was wroth with the officers of the host. Wroth means what? Upset, mad, right? With the captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, which came from the battle. And Moses said unto them, have you saved all the women alive? Right? So now he's like, listen, y'all was supposed to go and destroy all of them. What are all these women doing here? Right? He was mad now. So now he's questioning them about their motives and their intentions. It says, behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against Yahweh in the matter of Peor, which is the false god. And there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. So now these women was used as a tool to seduce Israel from following the Most High. Right. This is the same thing that you read about in Kings 11 with Solomon, when he had women of the other nations, and they caused him to do what? Go and worship other gods, right? To now to flow away from the Most High, to set up these groves or these altars to worship their gods, right? And in worshiping their gods, now you're going to have to take time and learn of their gods and do all these things. And that's what caused Israel to sin. And then when that happened, the Most High sent the plague amongst Israel. Go to Numbers, the 25th chapter. And 1.
And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom, the daughters of Moab, and they called the people unto the sacrifice of gods, and the people did eat and bow down to their God. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel.
Right. So now here it is that these women, Israel went a whoring with them, and they caused us to sin against the Most High by sacrificing to their gods and bowing down and worshiping their gods, right? So now this says the daughters of Moab, but also it was Midian women also that had done this too, because Balaam also went and counseled their women to go and deal with Israel. That's what we just read now in Numbers 31. But here is speaking about Moab and what the Most High did because of Moab, right? Read verse 4.
And the Lord said to Moses, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the Lord against the sun, that the furious anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel.
Right. So now the Most High put a judgment to go and say, all those men that went and did that, cut their heads off, kill them, right? Hang them up so it can be a sign of sin that they did or committed against the Most High, to inflict fear upon anyone else who wants to try to go against the Lord and his word, right? Read on.
Verse 5, and Moses said to the judges of Israel, slay ye every one of his men that were joined unto Baal Peor, And behold, one of the
So now hold on, stop right there. So now the Lord went out and said, hey, slay everyone. Now the execution comes of those who went and fell unto Baal Peor, this false god, right? Now, read the next verse.
And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought to his brethren a
Midianitish.
Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses.
Right, so that's what we read now in Numbers 31 about us going to war against Midian and why the Most High now has us going against Midian. Read.
And in the sight of all the congregation of Israel who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Right, because they just went out and slaughtered a whole bunch of Israelites for sin. So now you got some people there that's mourning these men because they sinned. Here come this man strolling amongst the camp with a Midianitish woman, right? In the midst of what just happened with the Moabite women, he now comes with a Midianitish woman, which now we understand were doing the same thing, causing Israel to go and worship Baal Peor, right? So then read on, what happens?
And when Phineas, the son of
Eleazar,
and the son of Aaron, the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin
or a spear or
in his hand, and he went after the man of Israel into the tent, and thus forth of them through the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel.
Right. So now when he saw that, he followed them into the tent. So they must have came through the camp. Everybody's watching them, and he goes into his tent. And he's like, no, they didn't. He goes and grabs a spear and goes into the tent and kills both of them. And when that happens, now the Most High ends the plague. So now he had a plague that was going for us to go out and slaughter all these men. That meant that nobody else now was following after that false god. Now everybody got the act right together, right? But now jump down to verse 16. Actually jump to
Jesus killed all these people on their heads off. Didn't that guy know that?
What the guy?
That went down there and went and got the Midianitish woman. Didn't he know that they just killed all these people's heads and hung them up? He didn't know that?
He knew that. But I mean, you got some people who know the law and they still commit sin. Now remember, this was Moabite women who was doing that, right? So it starts off with said, began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. But now you got a Midianitish woman. So somebody could just be on their own thing and say, well, you know, they did that. It wasn't these women. Not knowing that Balaam had counsel with those women to do the same exact thing, right?
Oh, this is two different types of women.
Yeah. The first verse talks about the daughters of Moab, right? And then now we're getting into a Midianitish woman, right? So that's why I'm wanting to read this verse here for Zakar, so now we can see the judgment the Most High has with them.
What was the difference between the Midianitish woman and the Moabite?
Nationality, but they was doing the same thing.
Okay.
Because remember, when you go further back, it was what was his name? Not Balaam. What was the guy's name who called Balaam? Balak, right? He was Moab. Balaam was Midian. So they conspired together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they conspired together, but the Most High went and stopped and intervened with Balaam to say, hey, you can't curse Israel. I'm going to give you instruction on what you need to do. And that's where Balaam and Balak was having a little contention back and forth. But still over time, Balaam, he still went and, you know, tried to have these women seduce us into following these false gods, right? That's what we're reading about right now in Numbers 31. I'm going to get back to that.
That's why they killed them.
So that's why they're going and killing them. So now read Numbers 25:16.
And the Lord spake to Moses, saying, vex the Midianites and smite them. But they vexed you with their wiles,
Wiles.
wherewith they had beguiled you in the matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cosby, the daughters of a prince of Midian, their
Sister.
their sister, which were slain in the day of the plague for Peor's sake.
Right. So the Lord said, now you got to go vex these Midianites and smite them because they also participated in your downfall. Right. So now when we jump back to Numbers 31 and 15.
15.
Right. So now Moses comes back with the question that says, and Moses said unto them, have ye saved all the women alive?
Right.
Verse 16, behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against the Lord in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Don't y'all remember what happened? The Most High sent us to go vex them and smite them for what they did because of Balaam. They caused us to sin. Why would you save all these women? Right? Because then what? They can continue to do the same thing again. Right? Verse 17. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that have known man by lying with him. Right? So every male, right? Every man child of the Midianites, kill them. Right? The young ones, yes, kill them. Right? And every woman that had slept with a man already. She was old enough to have sex with a man and have lain with a man. She got to go. Right? It says in verse 18, but all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Right? You can keep them as captives. Right? So now someone say, well, what are we going to do with them? Right? They're going to be our sex slaves and all this other stuff, and they're going to be our handmaids. But not every captive had to be a concubine. You can just have them as a handmaid. They just work your fields, right? Or they could have become a concubine, right? Now, the reason why you choose a young handmaid, right? Because now she has not been polluted or humbled by a man, number one, right? And number two, she has time to be indoctrinated. I don't know if the word is the right word. She has time to be taught our custom. Yeah, she now can be taught from a young age our customs to come up. You don't want men child within the camp that's from another nation, because why would you want to have a man child now grow up amongst Israel? Who are you going to marry? One of our women? Right? What are you going to do now? Want to take vengeance of what happened to his people? And but no. So you always see that in most wars, in most conflicts, they usually want to go and make sure that the men are killed off so that they don't rise again, right? They can't rise again as a people if it's just women, right? I know they had those movies where, you see the movies where it's just a whole bunch of like women and they are their own soldiers and now they fighting against. No, that's not how it was done back then in order. All right, well, that's not how it was done. That's not how it was done. They kill the kids, but that's not how it was done within Israel. As far as for how today's setup is, how you have, like when you're reading the law, and the Most High says that these are the persons that can go to war. Right. Every male child from 20 years old and up, male child, Zakar, right? They can go. It doesn't say male and female go to war. No, that role was not done. There's certain countries, I believe Israel is one, that has that as a law, that every male and female have to go and I think do 1 year in the military, right? I think of this generation, they have to go and do some form of service to their country, I think at least for 1 year. I remember watching that one time on the news, right? But according to our law, it wasn't done that way, right? We had different roles and had different things. Everything that the Most High sets up, he's very distinct in who can do what and who can't do what, right? And it's the same thing for every facet. So here they had the little young female children being saved for the purpose of what they were going to need to do later on, right? So now, when we remember, we just came out of what happened with the Midianitish women, right? So we didn't want to have any more of those types of influences left within the camp, right? So I'm going to read verse 18 again. But all the women children that have not known a man by lying with them, keep alive for yourselves. So to answer your question, I think you got the answer already. Yes, the Most High has it where he sanctions killing children. Right? Go to Joshua, the 6th chapter. Joshua, the 6th chapter. So now you referenced this earlier when we were talking about the trumpets. This is the fall of Jericho. Chapter 6. I'm going to read from 16 down to 21. Joshua 6. What did I say? 16? Yeah, 16. Yeah. So it says Joshua 6 and 16. And it came to pass at the 7th time it's a lot. It came to pass at the 7th time when the priest blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, shout, for the Lord hath given you the city. Right? That's why I referenced earlier. It's not about the weapons that you have. It's about the sanction of the Most High. The Most High's judgment is what allows nations to win wars or not, right? And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that was sent, right? That we sent. So remember, back in the beginning of the book of Joshua, Rahab was the one who took in the spies and saved them, because she understood what the Most High was doing. She understood what the Lord had done already for us. So she said, listen, I ain't going to side with my own people. I just want to live, me and my family. So they made an agreement that if they was to save them and let them live, that they would pardon her and her family. And they gave her a token so that when the soldiers came through, they would know not to harm Rahab. So now here it is, they're taking down the Jericho, and the Most High is telling Moses to go in and view everything as accursed. Right? So now everything was going to be accursed, everything in it. Don't take anything, right? So it says in verse 18, and ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed when you take of the accursed thing and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it, right? So all of their, images of gods and things that they had, regardless of whatever it is, don't even touch it. Don't bring it back into the camp, because that's going to be a hindrance to Israel as a people. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord. So now when you go get the spoils, all of these things you keep for the Most High, right? Verse 20. So the people shouted with the priests when the priest blew with the trumpets. And it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him. And they took the city, verse 21, and they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and ass, with the edge of the sword. So the Lord had everything outside of the gold, silver, and the certain things. Everything was slaughtered. That's different from what we read now, because we just read that they had the cattle and things brought back from this war against the Midianites, right? They took the spoils, the silver, gold, tin, everything else. All of that's coming back, but they also came back with these women. That was the problem.
That's what I'm talking about.
Here, they got rid of all the women, even the young ones. All of them were destroyed. They kept none for captives.
I wonder how they started that off.
The only ones that came back was Rahab and her family.
They killed the cattle too.
Yep. Killed everything.
That's what I was talking about earlier. When he was blowing the whole walk around them.
Yeah, that's you referencing that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's some dangerous stuff there, man. Because you're still trying to figure it out. How do you think walk around circles too?
Right. But that's why I prefaced it by saying all that is of the Most High. Right.
Right.
It wasn't like the horn blew the wall down. It's the Most High that allowed that wall to fall after our obedience to him. Because he said, do it 7 times, right? He could have said, do it 12 times, right? And it would have fell. He could have said, do it 3 times and it would fail. But it's the fact that if we were obedient to the Most High's instructions, and then, because he told us if we do this and the 7th time it was going to fall, and we did it, we didn't deviate, right? We had that confidence and that faith in the Lord. And then when we blew the priest blew the trumpets, then it fell. And then the Lord had already said, everything in the city is yours. Go and take the city. So now you going in there, you ain't fear nothing because you already know the Most High is giving it to you. You ain't seeing a guy with a, so I don't care how big he is. He like, he's mine already. Most I told him I'm going to win. So they went in there and destroyed everybody and everything outside of the gold and the silver. Right?
So there's no scientific invention that can explain those walls falling down.
No.
White man
No.
would never see
No.
God knocking it down.
Right. Exactly.
You know, the white man would tell you.
Yeah.
He was trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
He was trying to figure out anything else.
Right.
Vibrations from the horn. You know, he gonna bring something up.
Right. According to man's science, yeah, that's like when you read in the scriptures where it says Yahweh shall turn water to wine. Right. So now you're going, if you go based on science, right? There's a chemical makeup of water, H2O. There's a chemical makeup of the wine that includes the grapes and has some water in it. So now it's like, well, all I have is this. How do I get to this? Science is not going to give me that kind of chemical makeup that now it just adds itself in there and becomes that. No, right? That's why it's things of the Most High can't be explained by man. Man can't explain everything. That was that whole back and forth with Ezra when the Most High was trying to, when Ezra was trying to understand the motives behind the Most High and why he had his captivity and why he chose this nation and things of that nature. And the Most High was like, well, can you give me the weight of a flame? It's like the weight of a flame, the weight of fire. How do you measure fire? What device you gonna have to? But the Most High can measure the weight of a flame. That's inconceivable to us. Yeah. How do we now get on that level of comprehension and understanding about the elements that the Most High has created to be able to do certain things, right? So you're right. You know, man's science is not going to be able to prove or disprove everything that the Most High does, right? And because they can't, you know, they'll refute that it ever happened. So they'll come up with the alternative, right? They'll come up with the alternative of why the water split, right?
Moses.
Right. Why the water wasn't the real Red Sea, right? And the water wasn't that deep. The water was only but ankle high. So this real blast of the wind came, and yeah, you can have a big gust of wind and it blowing it apart, and they just walked on that. That makes sense to science outside of what was written in the scriptures. So that's kind of what man said. Yeah.
Thousands and thousands, 100,000 people.
Right.
Well, you hit dry land. I don't know when they did that long. Can you think it's gonna cut it out? I never heard you only last couple. Yeah. Come on, let's read, bro.
So now verse 19.
Okay.
It says, and do ye abide without the camp 7 days.
What were your numbers?
Numbers 31:19.
Okay. 19.
Right.
Numbers.
1 second.
31:19.
Right. So Numbers 31:19, it says, and do ye abide without the camp 7 days. Whosoever hath killed any person, and whosoever hath touched any slain, purify both yourselves and your captains on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. And purify all your raiment, and all that is made of skins and of work of goat's hair, and all things made of wood. And Eleazar the priest said unto the men of war that went to the battle, this is the ordinance of the law which the Lord commanded Moses, right? So now the Lord has given them instructions. So remember, as they coming back to the camp with these women, then they coming back with the spoils, having just slaughtered all these Midianite men. They unclean, right? Because remember, the Most High says he dwells within the camp. He dwells within the camp of Israel. So now Eleazar and then was instructed to go out and meet them before they got to the camp and say, look, all you men out here who went out there and was killing or who touched anything that was defiled, y'all got to stay and go purify yourselves 7 days, right? Same thing as if you went to a funeral, right?
Right.
Same precedence as a funeral. When you go to a funeral, you got to be unclean 7 days. The 3rd day and the 7th day, you get purified. So it's describing the same exact thing because they just went out there and killed men. So when you go to a funeral, you're around a dead body. They're around a whole bunch of dead bodies. It's like walking into a graveyard. Only thing is that they just died. You know, these people probably been dead for months, years, decades, centuries, right? But this was fresh kill. So the Lord's like, listen, you done shed blood. You can't come in the camp. Separate yourselves, purify yourselves 7 days.
Here's the question here. My man, Amaziah, he come here, he said that we took women from other camps that wasn't with the 12 tribes. That's these women here, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, here's the question. Did we lay down with these women and, you know, like make babies?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the question.
Some of them, yeah. Because there's a law when you read Deuteronomy.
Go ahead and write it down. Go ahead, Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy
Because he says about this.
21.
21. He says about this that you could be with other women from other tribes, and he's sticking to it too. 21.
Deuteronomy 21 and 10.
10. When thou goes forth to war.
Hold on, let everybody get it. Who again? Everybody got it?
Come on, right?
21 and 10.
So he sticks to this that you could go and they capture people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you know, I look at them other shows, but when thou goes forth to war against thy enemies, and the Lord thy God has delivered them into thy hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seen among the captives a beautiful woman.
So I stop. So this, I remember we used to have conversations back in the day, right? You know, they'd be like, "Oh man, ain't no beautiful women in the other nation." Yes, there is. The scriptures in the law is telling you if you see a beautiful woman of the other nation, your enemies, right? Read.
And hast thou desire to her that thou would have her to wife.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt bring her home in thy house, and she shall shave her head and purr her nails, and she shall put a raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thy house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month, and after thou shalt go into her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go. That means she's gone away. Whether she will, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her.
Right. So you couldn't sell her now to anybody else as a slave or a handmaid because you slept with her. But now if you just took her captive, right, and now say she's going to be a handmaid of mine, she's going to work my fields or property or whatever, like we used to do in slavery, but you didn't have no sexual dealings with her. Right now, you don't want to deal. You don't want her no more. Somebody else come and say, "Yo, I need some help on my land or on my house or whatever." Well, I got 5 of them. I'll sell you one. Right? Then you can sell her to that person. But once you laid with her and humbled her, now she's like a concubine or a wife to you, a second or lesser wife. You can't give her away for money now. You just got to let her go.
So when the baby comes to be an Israelite.
Right. Now, with that being said, now keep in mind, here's the trick. I want to say trick. Here's the thing with this, right? Because when you look in the New Testament, right? Because now we're reading law, right? When the priests came to Yahushua, or the men came to Yahushua and asked Yahushua about divorce, what did Yahushua say?
Gabar.
Not just Gabar. Zakar. What did Yahushua say?
What did he say? You're wrong. You know you're wrong.
Anybody remember what Yahushua said to the men when they asked him about divorce? What did Yahushua say was the intentions of the divorce law being given? Because of the hardness of your hearts, right? Because y'all was just stubborn on how to deal with your wives. And y'all was, men was the same thing happened today, right? We the same spirits from back in the past on how men deal with women. They leave them and go places and don't, deal with them to the quote unquote death do you part. Yahushua said, for the hardness of your hearts, the Most High gave you that law. But from the beginning, it was not so, right? The only reason should be for fornication, right? She's now fornicated, whether spiritually or physically, because spiritual fornication will cause you to fall victim to what we just read, where these women cause Israel to go and sin serving another God, right? Or she physically goes and fornicates and go out there and start dealing with other men. That would give you reason to say, you know what? I can't deal with this because mentally it jack you up. I can't deal with this. She got to go, right? But men was just doing it for whatever reason. Now, same thing with reading this law here as we going out to war and you seeing these beautiful women, right? Now, Israel, go to the Apocrypha. We just read this, or did we read this? We read this. Go to the book of Tobit. And then I'm going to come back to what we just read there. Go to the book of Tobit. Chapter 4, verse 12. Let me know when y'all got it.
Beware.
Yeah. Everybody got it? It says, Tobit chapter 4 and 12, beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe, for we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even they that are married, even that they are married wives of their own kindred. So I read that because remember Yahushua, when you read it, he says from the beginning, it was not so, right? From the beginning, we were dealing with our people. Now, did we have those here and there who went and took another wife from another nation? Yes. But that's from the beginning, it was never intended to be that way. So now when you have that within the nation and things popping up, the Lord sets law in there to kind of make distinctions between what can and can't be done. That's what we're reading in Numbers in Deuteronomy 21. I'm gonna go back to it. But it says, even that they all married wives of their own kindred and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. 13. Now therefore, my son, love the brethren and despise not in thine heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, in not taking a wife of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want, for lewdness is the mother of famine, right? So that just goes into the same type of destruction and downfall that will come or may come when you deal with these other women that caused us to fall to the Moabites and caused us to fall to the Midianites, that caused King Solomon to fall to the various women that he was dealing with, right? Even though he was getting old in age and his wits wasn't there, he fell to it. So now coming back to Deuteronomy, I see your hand, coming back to Deuteronomy 21, because it sounds all good with what's his new Hebrew name now? Amaziah, that's his name.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that to him.
Yeah. Amataziah, right? It sounds all well and good to Amataziah, right? And he may use or has used verses like this. But now in rereading this, it says in Deuteronomy 21 and 12, it says, then thou shalt bring her home to thine house and shall shave her head.
Clean her.
She's got to be bald, right? Now remember, in Corinthians, it tells you that a woman's hair is glory unto her, right? So Israel, she ain't supposed to be shaving her head bald because that's the blessing of the Most High to have that woman have long hair. Didn't you read, I think it's Isaiah 13 or 12, I can't remember the exact chapter, where the Most High used that as a curse against the women of Israel because of their wantonness and their sin, that he would make their head bald. That's why a lot of our women, especially in the Southern Kingdom, a lot of our Southern Kingdom women, short hair, putting extensions in, putting weaves in and everything else to get back to having long hair. But they're under the curse, right? That's a curse that the Most High has put upon.
Why the Southern Kingdom?
I said predominant. I'm not saying that some of the Northern Kingdom don't do it. Why? Well, because it's my observation. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, but the Southern Kingdom, the ones that he put the curse on?
No. I'm saying the Southern Kingdom because I'm part of the Southern Kingdom and I know I experienced that. Somebody else went from the Northern Kingdom like, oh no, we do it too. That's just something that they would have to kind of explain to me. I don't know too well, right? I have to probably ask, maybe Mariam or someone that's within the tribes and in the nation, if that is an occurrence that is so prevalent like you see with the Southern Kingdom. Right, and that's just something that you would see. You go into the hair salon, who getting damn weaves? Yeah, but not to say that the Southern don't get wigs or weaves. I'm just saying from where I'm at. That's like when I travel certain places, I'll begin to see certain things that I was never privy to, or hear about certain things that I was never privy to. Because from my little box area that I'm at, whether I'm in Jersey or Philly, I see based on my surroundings. So if I go somewhere else, then I may be like, oh, snap, I never knew y'all ate that. Or I never knew y'all went there. Or I never knew y'all did that, right? Because that's kind of what you just limited to when you just deal with in your own confinement. When you travel and get out, you see things, or you read things, you talk to people, you learn things, right? So going back to this verse, and I don't want to take too much time on it, but thou shalt shave her head and pare her nails, right? So now that is supposed to be done. I'm pretty sure these, Amatazai and all, if they ain't telling them they got to shave their heads, right? Not only he's not telling them that they got to shave their heads, he ain't telling them why they got to shave their heads. Because in this, we're reading that if you go to war and you have enemies, and of the enemies, you see a beautiful woman, she already knows that you are Israelite, right? She know what nation you come from because you just killed off all her men. These men ain't going out here to war, dealing with none of this stuff. They just want to just deal with these women because of their own lust. That's it. Right? Because he specifically ain't champion his own nation.
Right. I told him that.
You never hear him come in here and champion his women from his own nation. Not just from one tribe, from the nation.
What do you mean by champion?
Big up.
Women we got.
To say, yo, our women's the best, the greatest, the best looking, the best thinking, the best, whatever it is. He ain't champion our tribes of women. He champions their women. He'll come in here and tell you about the Moabite women that we just read in Numbers 25 and what they did to us in history. That's why sometimes the Most High has to say, remember what happened. Remember what happened. Why? Because we're a forgetful nation. Stiff-necked, stiff-hearted. And as time goes on, we don't remember the things that happened maybe 30 years ago, 20 years ago. That's why sometimes generations need to be reminded of what happened. Sometimes when my daughter, especially my youngest one, when she sees certain movies from the past, because they're not, some of them are getting to that point again, but when she sees certain things, events and movies that happened in the past, she's like, well, why they did that to her? Why they do that to us? That's how they was. Well, why? Right? Because not in the mind, you just go to school and you amongst different, you got a little Russian girl, or you got a, this girl, and you got a little one in there, and y'all all learning together. Everything is cool. But you don't know what their ancestors did to your ancestors or your grandparents back in the day, right? You don't know that sometimes when you go over their house, or they come to your house, or they come to the school and they see you, they say, in their minds, the ancient ones start thinking of all kind of stuff. Look at this one over here. Look at this one over here. I can't believe these are thoughts that come into mind. I tell you, one time I was overseas, me and a brother that worked at my job. We went overseas, and he dressed real nice. He dressed real nice, was kind of flashy a bit. So he went into a supermarket to go get some food. So it was another dude, a heathen, that seen him in the supermarket, right? And looked at him like in the movie Django when what you call was riding on a horse.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, what the? Yeah, like, what is he doing riding on a horse? So they see him in the store, dressed well, nice fit, everything. Like,
what this nigga got with money? Like, who gave him money to go dress like that?
And that's a heathen.
Right, this is a heathen, this is what he's saying. But now he's in his country. He's seeing him like we're out of our element. We don't traveled overseas into this area. So he's seeing him and he's like, what the heck is this doggone like dressing like that? Now, a friend of his that lives in there, I know. So he came and told me, yeah, you know, your friend such and such was in the store and some of my friends seen him and they was looking at him in a certain manner. I had to check him like, nah, these guys good, da da da. But it made me understand that everybody's mentality about us and what we think it is ain't always the same. Just because you may work together and socially everything is cool and y'all making jokes, you're talking about the game, you're talking about the movie, but you got a good conglomerate of people who still view you as a certain place, a certain people. Right? Because what's our history right now? What is our history known to the world? Our history known to the world ain't that we the Most High's chosen, that we princes and princesses. Our history to the world is that we were slaves for 400 years, right? What's our prominence? Exactly. And then they started to build a case against us and said, yeah, we're the thieves, we're the rapists, we're the murderers, we're the robbers, we're the lazy ones, we're this, we're that, everything else that has now come from that. So again, now, that person who he's trying to say he's going to take as a wife, she got to know the real history, right? She got to know the real deal about what this is. Because if you took an Israelite woman, right? If you took an Israelite woman, what are you going to be apt to do? This is what I'm involved with. This is what I deal with. This is what I'm saying I'm following. This is my history because that's what the scriptures say. Right.
Amen.
Exactly. You don't want to be, especially in your own home. Right. You don't want to be, or yeah, in your own home, Dylan. You don't want to be living a lie, right? Right. That's like when I first came in. I told when the maybe about once it's about the end of a week, 2 days in when I first came in. I came home. I told my wife. I said, "Look, this is what I'm dealing with right here. This is what I'm dealing with, right?" And that's a woman of Israel. So now you got a heathen woman and you're reading the law, and the law says if you want to have, well, you ain't got to do that to an Israelite woman. But now you go get a heathen woman. If you want to be so enamored to go and deal with her, lay with her, make her your lesser wife, shave her head, pay her nails. And now she got and the reason why that's done is because they ain't want, the Most High didn't have it where these heathen women and Israelite women are like treated the same. Like they had to be something to bring you down a notch, right? You ain't gonna be a beautiful woman of the heathens and then coming up here with Israel and now they be contention. No, but bring you down a notch, right? Sure, you saw her as a beautiful, okay, fine, but she ain't gonna be on the same level as an Israelite woman. It's the same thing how we had that conversation when people say, well, what's gonna happen in the kingdom? You're gonna have some nations that's gonna be saved. You're right, but they ain't gonna be on equal with Israel. So what? The Most High bring them down a notch. He elevate us. Well, we're going to be perfect in mind. So we ain't going to be the same level. We ain't going to look the same. We ain't going to act the same, right? So we have to have some kind of distinction between us and them. And the Most High had it where there's a distinction between these heathen women and Israel that you went and fought in war and took them. He ain't fighting a dang on war. I'm asking what war he went and fighting in to go say that he's going to go and fulfill this.
So you still marry her, that other woman.
You know, so now here's the point about that, right? And that's why that's why I linked this with what Yahushua said. Divorce is in the law, but when he checked the men and said, "Listen, this was done for the hardness of your heart." It ain't written in the Old Testament. The Most High said, because of the hardness of your hearts, the Most High put this in there, right? The law was put in there. But now when you come and get true understanding about it, Yahushua gives us the true knowledge now that said, because the men was stiff-headed, hard-headed, right? So the Lord put that in the law that if you choose to go and separate with your wife, here's the manner in which you got to go through it so that there can be order in it, right? And not just men going laying with men because it was a family thing, right? You went to the fathers and everybody in the town and everybody knew that that was your wife. Right. So now when you separate that, you got to go through this whole process. But that ain't what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Y'all just hard-headed. That's why that's being done. So when we reading this, that ain't what you're really supposed to be doing.
Right.
Because you just hard-headed. He hard-headed, right? So that's why he's telling his son from the beginning, it wasn't so. Our fathers dealt with our people. That's how it was in the beginning.
He's talking about right now today.
Right. Yeah, but because he hard-headed.
Okay.
That's why I said he ain't even championed his own women. That's a sign right there.
Right.
That's a sign right there. You never hear him come in here or go out there or any YouTube video or whatever talking about, oh, the women of Judah is this. Oh, the women of Simeon is this. Oh, the women of Gad is this. No, he always talk about the Moab women.
Yeah.
Moab and Ammon women. That's all he gonna talk about.
Right. He
Yeah.
When he come in, he know the Bible.
So then let's go back.
Come on.
Let's go back to Numbers 31.
19, 20.
Where did I leave off at? No, I think I read up to, I'm at 21.
Mm-hmm.
What did I just read? I read Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy, you way on here with 11.
22.
14.
I want to make sure I got all this down.
Well,
21.
14.
No, Deuteronomy 21.
10 and 14.
10 and 14. Come. The water.
You read the 12 before 12.
There you go.
Then Numbers 31 and 21.
All right, so Numbers 31:21. It says, and Eleazar the priest said unto the men of war which went to the battle, this is the ordinance of the law which the Lord commanded Moses. Only the gold, Zahab, and the silver, the brass, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that may abide the fire, ye shall make it go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with the water of separation, and all that abideth not the fire, ye shall make go through the water, right? So all these different types of metals that was supposed to be given or consecrated to the Most High had to go through the fire, right? Now, the reason why when you read this goes through the fire, because I think you read it in Ezekiel, that you want the pure metals. You know how sometimes you get jewelry, you go to the stores and you say, yeah, you're getting a silver chain. Mm-hmm. You think the silver chain is 100%. It ain't 100%. It's like 45% silver, right? And then you got some other alloys and metals that's in there to kind of give it the shape, to harden it, because sometimes the metals are soft metals. So they would make it go through the fire and purify it. So when you put the metals through the fire and boil down all the, like you get it to a certain temperature, you start to see this thing separate. And then when you read it, it talks about the dross. The dross is the stuff that rises to the top, and it's that extra stuff that ain't good. And they would come and take that off, get rid of that. And they keep burning and burning and get rid of it, and you get rid of it until the only thing that's left is just the pure gold. Only thing is left is the pure silver. Only thing is left is the pure brass. Why? Because now you're going to take it and make, other things for the Most High with that pure gold, with that pure silver. You're just not going to take whatever gold they made it to be and say, okay, here, we're going to take that and get that to the Most High. No, that thing was dedicated to their gods. Why would we do that? You got to get rid of that, boil it all down, break it down to its lowest common component, and then make it for something that the Lord needs within the temples, within the sanctuaries, within the nation, whatever, and then you use it. So that's what this is going into. And then everything else that can't go through the fire, like you may have certain materials, right? Good linen or whatever it may be that you may have taken, you ain't going to burn that. So certain things you just washed and purified and cleansed it, right? That's what that says in the last piece. Verse 24, and ye, the people, shall wash your clothes on the seventh day, and ye shall be clean, and afterward ye shall come into the camp, right? So now the spoils was cleansed, and the people had to be cleansed, right? It says in verse 25, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take the sum of the prey that was taken, both of man and of beast, thou and Eleazar the priest, and the chief fathers of the congregation. So now everything that came back from the war outside of the men, now we about to collect it all and do something with it. Verse 27, and divide the prey into two parts, between them that took the war upon them, who went out to the battle, and between all the congregation. So you collect the sum, everything, gold, silver, the women, children, the cattle, all of that, and split it down the middle, right?
It says men there too.
Where we at?
26. Both a man and a beast.
Right. So when it says man there, because you know all the men were what? All the Midianite men was what?
Fighting against them.
No. What happened to them?
Killed.
All of them got killed. Who was saved?
Women.
Women, right? So now when it goes into this man and pray, it's really dealing with the women, children. And it's, as we read on, it's going to tell you that. As we read on, it's going to specify that. So man here, remember, when we read in the New Testament, and the Most High says that Christ fed the men of 5,000 was it the loaves and the fish, and it said man there, who else was it talking about?
It says beside women.
And one verse it says beside that, to give you the clarity, because without that we would have never known that. But in the other verse it just says men. It doesn't even tell you about there was women and children when you read in the other gospel. So what that does is, because remember, we can't number all Israel. We can't account for all Israel. So the Lord has it where there's that gap space. It's like, all right, there was 15,000 men in that town, but it didn't tell you how many women and children was there, right? So now you ain't gonna never get the complete census of everything. So in this case, now it classifies men. You got men because they're the head of the women. So even there, it's talking about women as well. And like I said, as we read on, it's going to tell you that it's talking about those women. Just be so patient.
That word man is talking about women and children, not talking about man.
Con.
It's not talking about everybody, just women and children.
Right. So now, reading on in 27 again. And divide the prey into two parts, between them that took the war upon them, who went out to the battle, and between all the congregation, right? So you separate it, divide it in half. This side that came back that you guys took was for the 12,000 men that fought. The other half is for everybody that didn't fight. That's what's going to be divided up, right? And it made sense that the Most High gave, you know, these men, they went out there and put their lives in the battle, that they get a good fair sum of, you know, the spoils of war.
No, because like in these nations that when they go to war, like for them, the U.S. Army, the military, they go to war, and anything they find goes to the government.
Right.
They don't get any spoils.
Right.
Even sometimes they see money, and like, no, it goes to the government.
Mm-hmm.
The pocket.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're gonna check them anyway.
Mm-hmm. Where we at? 28. 28. It says, and levy a tribute unto the Lord of the men of war which went out to battle, one soul of 500, both of the persons and of the beeves and of the asses and of the sheep, right? So now it says that a tribute has to be taken from their portion, like a tax, right? Had to be taken out of what they received and given to the Most High. So now it says here, I'm gonna read it again, and levy a tribute of the Lord, a tribute unto the Lord of the men of war which went out to battle. One soul of 500, both of the persons. So it don't say men, now it's saying persons. So this is what was brought back. What was brought back dealing with persons? These women girls, these young girls. So one of them for every, what does it say? 500 has to be given to the Most High. Then it says, and of the beeves, one of every 500 has to be given to the Most High. When you read it in the when you read the origin of that, beeves is like plural for beasts or cow or cattle, right? It's just a plural form. And of the asses and of the sheep. So you taking one of every 500 to now give to the Most High. So now when you say to yourself, hold on, because we were talking about all these young women that's going to be given to these men, and what are they going to do with them? So now these young girls, one of them has to go to the Lord. What is the Lord going to do with them? He ain't going to sacrifice them. So they're now going to have to do some form of duty unto the priest for whatever it is that they're going to command them to do outside of the temple for the Most High's work, right? That's what has to happen. Verse 29, it says, take it of their half and give it unto Eleazar the priest for an heave offering of the Lord, and of the children of Israel's half. So we dealt with the soldiers. Now we got to deal with everybody else's. Thou shalt take one portion of 50 of the person. So it was a 500 for the soldiers, of 50 for the nation or the rest of the nation, right? Of the persons, of the beeves, of the asses, and of the flocks, of all manner of beasts, and give them unto the Levites, which keep the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded. And the booty, being the rest of the prey which the men of war had caught, was 600,000 and 770,000 and 5,000 sheep, and threescore and 12,000 beeves, and 61,000 asses, and 32,000 purses in all, of women that had not known man by lying with him. Right. So there's that clarity when it talks about the cattle, the beast, and the man. So now it's telling you everything that was brought back. How you doing?
There you go. Go on, bro.
All right, shalom, bro.
I'm gonna bring him in. All right.
So it says all that was brought back from their portion was such, right, that we're reading here. It says in verse 37, and the Lord's tribute of the sheep was 615 of what we just read. And the bees were 36,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 312. And the asses was 30,500, of which the Lord's tribute was 301. And the persons were 16,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 32 persons. Right? So now here it is. These persons again is these young women, and then all the cattle that came with them that now had to be separated or taxed from the nation of Israel's portion and what was going to be taxed from the soldiers' portion. Verse 41. And Moses gave the tribute, which was the Lord's heave offering, unto Eleazar the priest, as the Lord commanded Moses. And of the children of Israel's half, which Moses divided from the men that warred. So we read what came from Israel. Now we read the other part. Now the half that pertaineth unto the congregation was 300,000 and 30,000 and 7,500 sheep, and 36,000 beeves, and 30,000 asses, and 500 and 16,000 persons. Even of the children of Israel's half, Moses took one portion of 50, both of man and of beasts. So there again, man and of beasts of the persons, which means these young women, and gave them unto the Levites, which kept the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the officers which were over thousands of the host, the captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, came near unto Moses. And they said unto Moses, thy servants have taken the sum of the men of war, which were under our charge, and there lacketh not one man of us. We have therefore brought an oblation for the Lord, where every man have gotten of jewels of gold, chains, bracelets, rings, earrings, and tablets, to make an atonement for our souls before the Lord. So they're like, look, we done came and got a lot of stuff. Everybody got enough, right? But now we want to make an oblation. We want to make an offering to the Most High as an atonement for us. We're bringing all of this stuff to the Lord, right? Because of what the Most High has done for us. We lack nothing. We got everything we need, right? Verse 51. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of them, even all wrought jewels, and all the gold of the offering that they offered up to the Lord, of the captains of thousands and of the captains of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. For the men of war had taken spoil, every man for himself. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of the captain of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it into the tabernacle of the congregation for a memorial before the children of Israel, before Yahweh, right? So now this is what was customary that you see happen when you went out to war.
Right, you took everything.
You took everything, and then you had some that was kept for yourselves,
right,
and then you gave an offering to the Most High.
True.
As gratitude, right? Because we know that we won the war because of the Most High. So you give the Most High his just due as an offering, as an oblation. This was not like a tithe. This is what you gave because of to the Lord. Zakar.
There you go. Now, I look at the queen and them overseas. Now, I look at this Bible right here. All the wars we don't won and lost. Back in the day, all the wars that they won and lost. But they seem to have all their gold, diamonds, and pearls and everything. Why we don't have all that stuff?
Why would you think we don't? We don't, you don't know why we don't have it all?
I swear to God, I don't.
Are we not in captivity?
Yeah,
okay, in captivity. In any captivity, do you keep all of your prominent things and
we don't even have ourselves.
yeah, we don't have our land, we don't have ourselves, we don't know who we are, right?
Yeah. Right shit.
That's why when you read in Revelations where it talks about the fall of Babylon, all the things that they have been trading amongst the nation, they've been trading gold and silver and purple of the sea. And then it says slaves and souls of men, right? So they also trade people back and forth. So, they talk about on a low level, all the human trafficking that goes on, human trafficking, right? Where people just abduct and capture certain people and go send them to go be servants and slaves in other people's countries or castles or kingdoms. And then you just have people that still mentally slave along with their souls being taken. So all of that, you talking about our gold. Some of the things that you may see that's around in certain museums and in their castles and all of that, yeah, some of that is ours.
Yeah, well,
however, that's not the priority right now. It's not the focus, because like we read last week, where it says the Most High is going to have it when we set up in our kingdom, that the glory of the nations are going to be brought to the children of Israel. The gates will be continually open, and they will just be bringing that stuff to us. So all that stuff that we had, stuff that we never had, is going to be brought to us. So it's going to come back 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, tenfold, continually, forever.
We ain't got none of that.
Even if we have it today, it probably end up in the punch out.
Yeah. Right. Because and that's the case where anything that we are fighting for right now, a lot of times we're, justice and righteous judgment is key, right? But if Esau said, yeah, we're gonna give, what was that guy put it? Yeah, not only 40 acres in the mill, they're saying that it don't make no sense. What was the guy's name? The congressman. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
The white guy?
Yeah, McConnell, Senator Mitch McConnell said it don't even make no sense for us to go and give African-American slaves reparations in this day and age, because so much time has passed that, hey, we're not the generation that had them in slavery. So why would we going to give them any reparations? They don't need it. Time has passed now, right? But if they did, like Paquai was just alluding to, if they gave us so much money,
they give everybody else.
right? If I know they do that for everybody else, but if they gave us so much money, right, for Israel, maybe we would do good things with it. But for the conglomerate of the nation, there'd be so many cars going down a doggone block with blasting music and all like. Everybody on the block would have full Cuban link chains on and everything going everywhere. There'd be a party in every club for about 4 years.
Yeah, great.
And then the money run out. And then we right back to where we is. Right? No forward thinking of investment, no forward thinking of sustaining your people and uplifting your people. No thinking that, hey, we can establish our own now that we have the defense of money to go and set things up, to set up an infrastructure. No forward thinking of saying, hey, we either go and try to occupy. None of that. We're going to party for about 4 years. And then it's going to run out and we're right back to where we are, because we're destroyed for the lack of knowledge, like in Hosea 4:6.
No, plus also Esau with taxes so heavy on that money. Going all the way back. You got child support waiting for you, and all that stuff, and back taxes also. But Isaiah 42 and 22.
Isaiah who?
42, 22.
42, 22. Go ahead, bro.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. There are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for prey, and none delivered, for a spoil, and none said, restore. So we're a nation robbed and spoiled. That's why we don't have anything.
Gun.
Everything.
I think half of us would do something this morning. But
I don't.
what about the other?
I
He made the statement that who's African American didn't mix with everybody. That's right.
That's a problem right there when we try to determine who's African American, who's this, who's that, who can't be a part of receiving monies or any reparations. You know, this ain't for you, it's only for you because you didn't really come over. Your ancestors didn't really come over here. They left. Whatever that doggone discussion will be, it'll be crazy.
The Africans are trying to get our stuff.
Oh yeah, then the Africans now they want to be a part of it. They say, oh, especially all these countries, third world countries that really are suffering. They're like, oh, they just gave these guys $30 billion. Hey, now they want to open up and I was like, hey, you know, come back here and give us some electricity, some water, whatever. Oh, for quiet. Hold on, for quiet.
Right. One thing first is like you would have to say, okay, they're gonna give me all this money. Am I ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
Usually you don't do that. You're looking at the symptoms of us not having the money, but without saying, okay, let me prepare myself. If I come up to money, I would know what to do with it. Then when the money comes, you know what to do with it. You examine yourself first. But usually we look at the lack of money, but not looking at ourselves, not having the knowledge to deal with it. Right?
Man, we used to be shown lifestyles of the rich and famous and robbing leaks and all that. And because that's what we tempted at. That's like, you know, when it talks about Lazarus laid at the rich man's gate, you're being tempted and shown all this stuff that they have. And we're not taught to be rational. We're not taught to have wisdom. We're just taught to just do, right? And just to live surplus, right? Just be, you know, a person who just buys what they see and not what they need. So in that regard, yeah, you know, they're not going to think rational. It's gonna, like I said, you're going to have guys with 5, 10 gold chains on and 18 cars and parties, and the liquor stores are going to be crazy because everybody going to be buying up. The liquor store going to be sold out because it's going to be drinking for I don't know how.
100 pair of sneakers.
Yeah,
Love sneakers.
we're going be done in a few years and we're right back to the same thing. All right, so it's about 1:05. We're going to pause here. Take about 30 minutes, come back at about 1:35 and do the second half of the service, chapter 32. Take a break, get something to eat according to the law, and then we'll come back.